Okay, dear students, in today's class, we discuss the topic on backtracking. Introduction to backtracking. So, in the subject, design and analysis of algorithms, this is the 5th unit, unit 5. Backtracking. What are the topics in the backtracking? The general method, the 8 queens problem, sum of subsets, graph coloring, Hamiltonian cycles. These are the topics in our unit 5. Now see the major topics, the topics which we discuss in today's class. Concept of backtracking, types of problems, top 8 commonly occurring interview problems, tree representation, exploring of each node, backtracking as a depth first search. Example to understand backtracking and difference between backtracking and recursion. Okay, these are the topics which we discuss in our class. Now, what is backtracking? What is the backtracking? Already you are experienced in our depth first search algorithm in our data structures. So, backtracking is an algorithmic technique that considers searching in every possible combination for solving a computational problem. Okay, difference between backtracking and recursion. Now, what is a backtracking? Backtracking is an algorithmic technique that considers searching in every possible combination for solving a computational problem. Suppose when you want to solve a problem, so the searching for the different combinations, every possible combinations is done in the backtracking algorithm. So we are solving the problems in a recursive approach, one step at a time, and removing those solutions that don't satisfy the problem constraints at any point of time. So it is a refined brute force approach. Brute force approach means that is a approach, which takes more time, a general approach, just like a Banda Paddhati. So in this brute force approach that tries out all the possible solutions and chooses the best possible ones out of them. So we are choosing the best possible method, best method. So the backtracking approach is generally used in the cases where there are possibilities of multiple solutions. Generally, when there is a chance of occurring multiple solutions, then we go for backtracking. So backtracking, what is the definition? Backtracking can be defined as a general algorithmic technique that considers searching every possible in order to solve a computational problem. So in backtracking, we can define as a general algorithmic technique. That is an algorithmic technique. We have several algorithmic techniques. Several techniques are there. Already we discussed divide and conquer. This dynamic programming, greedy algorithms. Like this, backtracking is also can be defined as a general algorithmic technique that considers searching every possible combination in order to solve a computational problem. So we are searching for every possible solution. So backtracking is a technique based on backtracking is a technique that is based on algorithm to solve a problem. It uses recursive calling to find the solution. So by building a solution step by step, increasing values with time, it removes the solutions that does not give rise to the solution to the problem based on the constraints given to solve the problem. So based on the constraints given to solve the problem. So it takes the path. Suppose if any path does not give the solution, then it will remove that particular path. Now, what are the types of problems? Types of problems. So backtracking algorithm is applied to some specific types of problems. So decision algorithm, that is decision problem used to find a feasible solution of the problem. Next, optimization problem used to find the best solution that can be applied. Enumeration problems used to find the set of all feasible solutions of the problem. So we have backtracking algorithm. In this, we have decision problem, optimization problem, and enumeration problem. So these problems, when you can say decision problem is used to find a feasible solution to the problem, whereas optimization problem used to find the best solution that can be applied. Enumeration problem used to find the set of all feasible solutions of the problem. So in backtracking problem, the algorithm tries to find a sequence path to the solution. It needs to find a path which has some small checkpoints from where the problem can be backtracked if no feasible solution is found for the problem. That means in the sequence of paths, suppose a solution is not reached in a particular path. then you will not consider that particular path. So what are the top 8 interview problems on backtracking? Based on backtracking, what are the different problems generally asked in the interview exams? The word break problem. The word break problem is a one example. Another one is print all the permutations of a string. Nights tour problems. Okay, Knight's tour problem. Search a word in a matrix. N Queen's problem. Better solution. N Queen's problems. Rat in a maze. Puzzle problem. Sudoku solver problem. So all these are different problems generally asked in the interviews relating with this backtracking. Now we have tree representations. Tree representation. Consider the tree. Just see it. We have the green color node and blue color nodes and red color and thick green color. Say here from this figure, you can easily observe that green is the start point from where we are starting our tree, that is a root node. Blue is the intermediate point. Red are points with no feasible solution. There is no feasible solution when you reach the leaf node that is with red color. So dark green is the solution, end solution. So we are starting from the root node and we are reaching to the leaf nodes. When you are reaching the leaf nodes, if it is red, that means it is not giving any solution. It is a dead end. Again, you move back to the intermediate node and try to find the alternative path to get the solution. So here, when the algorithm propagates to an end to check if it is a solution or not. If it is, then returns the solution. Otherwise, backtracks to the point one step behind it to find track to the next point to find the solution. So we have the tree representation. Just observe, we have the root node. From there, we are starting to find the solution to the problem. So at the sum of the leaf nodes, when you reached, some of the leaf nodes, when you reach, those are dead ends. That means you will not get the solution. You try again, you move back and again try in the alternative path so that to reach the solution. See here in our figure, we have dead ends, already you see, and we have the success here. So after when you reach the dead end, then you move back and again try alternative solution and try to find the goal node. That is our success. So searching a tree, backtracking can understand of as searching a tree for a particular goal leaf node. So particular goal leaf node. See, we have the root node, internal nodes, and leaf node. These are the nodes, if you observe, with different colors. So green color node is the root node, and we have the pink color nodes, which are internal nodes, and this another color node, that is the leaf node. Now backtracking is undoubtedly quite simple. We explore each node as follows. So to explore node n, suppose when you want to explore a node n, if n is a goal node, n is a goal node, then return success. That means that is the goal you are reached. If n is a leaf node, suppose n is a leaf node, but return failure. For each child C of n, explore C. If C was successful, return success. Return failure. So what is a backtracking? Is a depth first search. Already you studied. In your data structures, we have best first search and depth first search. So depth first search type of searching is done in backtracking algorithms. Whereas in the case of branch and bound technique, we have the BFS, breadth first search. So backtracking is a depth first search. Backtracking algorithm determines the solution by systematically searching the solution space for the given problem. So backtracking is a depth first search with any bounding function. Any bounding function you can take. It is like a depth first search. So our solution using backtracking is needed to satisfy a complex set of constraints. So it should follow the constraints. The constraints may be explicit or implicit. That means constraints are given, or conditions are given explicitly. That means explicitly mentioned, or implicitly. Implicitly means by way of searching, you can easily find that it is the constraints are implicit. Implicit means it is not mentioned clearly or explicitly. So explicit constraint is ruled which restrict each vector element to be chosen from a given set. From a given set, it is chosen. So it will restrict each vector element. Whereas implicit constraint is ruled which determines which each of the tuples in the solution space actually satisfy the criterion function. So how to determine if a problem can be solved using backtracking? Can you solve the problem using backtracking? So generally, every constraint satisfaction problem which has clear and well-defined constraints on any objective solution that incrementally builds candidate to the solution and abandons the candidate backtracks as soon as it determines that the candidate cannot possibly be completed to a valid solution, can be solved by backtracking. However, most of the problems that are discussed can be solved using other known algorithms. That is, other algorithmic techniques are also there. By using that, we can solve the problems like dynamic programming and or greedy algorithms in logarithmic, linear, or linear logarithmic, time complexity in order of input size. And therefore, outshine the backtracking algorithm in every respect. So since backtracking algorithms are generally exponential in both time and space, however, a few problems still remain that only have a backtracking algorithms to solve them until now. That means since our backtracking algorithms are taking exponential time, both time and space. However, a few problems still remain. For some problems, we can use the only backtracking algorithms to solve that particular problem, even though it is taking more time. So, example, consider a situation that you have 3 boxes in front of you, and only one of them has a gold coin in it. There are 3 boxes in front of you. So, just like in our some functions or some festivals, there are 3 boxes are placed and there is a game is there. Okay, inside, like in that game, we have the 3 boxes, only one of them has a gold coin in it. There is a gold coin, but you don't know which one. Which one is having the gold coin? So, in order to get the coin, you will have to open all of the boxes one by one. You need to open all of the boxes one after another one to get the coin. You will first check the first box. If it does not contain the coin, suppose the first box does not contain coin, you will have to close it. Close the first box and check the second box. Now you can see check the second box. Open the second box and check it. Is there any gold coin is there or not? And so on until you find the coin. This is what backtracking is. That is solving all subproblems one by one in order to reach the best possible solution. So, just like gold coin problem, you need to apply the backtracking. Then you can solve the subproblems one by one to get the goal node or best possible solution which is best one. So, example to understand the backtracking approach. So, how to understand the backtracking approach? So, the backtracking algorithm begins to build a solution starting with an empty solution set, S equal to empty. So, starting with an empty solution set, S equal to empty set. Add to the first move that is still left. All possible moves are added to one by one. One by one, we are adding the remaining possible moves. This now creates a new subtree in the search tree of the algorithm. So, check if satisfies each of the constraints in. If yes, then the subtree is eligible to add more children. Else, the entire subtree is useless. So, recurs back to step 1 using argument. So, in the backtracking approach, when you can say these are the steps, suppose in the event of eligibility of the newly formed subtree recurs back to step 1. We can apply the recursion back to step 1 using argument. If the check for returns that it is a solution for the entire data, it is the solution for entire data. So output and terminate the program. If not, if it is not the case, then return. What to return? That no solution is possible with the current and hence discard it. So it is not possible to get the solution, then we can discard the case algorithm. We can move. So difference between recursion and backtracking. Since we are using the recursion concept in this backtracking, so what is the difference between recursion and backtracking? In recursion, the function calls itself until it reaches a base case. Until it reaches a base case, so a function calls itself. So in backtracking, we use recursion to explore all the possibilities until we get the best result for the problem. So algorithm design techniques, divide and conquer approach. Okay, this is about introduction to backtracking. Now see algorithm design techniques. Already we discussed different algorithm design techniques like divide and conquer algorithmic technique, greedy algorithmic technique, so dynamic programming technique. Like this, there are different techniques we discussed. Just recall those techniques for clear understanding of our algorithmic design or design and analysis of algorithms. So this is for some getting some idea about different techniques used in the design of algorithms. Suppose the first one, divide and conquer approach. Now we will discuss the algorithmic design techniques. Okay, divide and conquer approach. It is a top-down approach. The algorithms which follow the divide and conquer techniques involve the 3 steps. So already you know what is a divide and conquer approach. So in divide and conquer approach, we have divide the original problem into a set of sub-problems, solve every sub-problem individually, recursively. Now we are solving the sub-problems. Now combine the solution of the sub-problems top level into a solution of the whole original problem. That is about design technique for the divide and conquer approach. Now see the second technique, greedy technique. So in greedy technique, greedy method is used to solve the optimization problem. An optimization problem is one in which we are given a set of input values. We are taking the input values and which are required either to be maximized or minimized, known as objective. That is, some constraints or conditions are followed. That is a greedy technique. So greedy method lo manaki optimization problem solving the optimization problem. Optimization problem ante maximize cheyadam avvachu leda minimize cheyadam avvachu. So optimization problem is one in which we are given a set of input values which are required either to be maximized or minimized. Now the next technique, that is dynamic programming technique. So dynamic programming is a bottom-up approach which solve all possible small problems and then combine them to obtain the solutions for bigger problems in dynamic programming. So this is particularly helpful when the number of copying subproblems is exponentially large. So dynamic programming is frequently related to optimization problems. Now see the next one, that is branch and bound. This technique is not discussed till now. This will be discussed in the next chapter. So what is a branch and bound? Just like breadth first switch. In a branch and bound algorithm, a given subproblem which cannot be bounded has to be divided into at least 2 new restricted subproblems. So branch and bound algorithm are methods for global optimization in non-convex problems. So we are using the non-convex problems. So branch and bound algorithms can be slow. However, in the worst case, they require effort that grows exponentially with the size of the problem. But in some cases, we are lucky and the method covers with much less effort. So when you can say branch and bound algorithm, which cannot be bounded, given a subproblem which cannot be bounded, has to be divided into at least 2 new restricted subproblems. So branch and bound algorithm are methods for global optimization in non-convex problems. They are taking the more amount of time, in the worst case, maybe exponential time also. So that is why the branch and bound techniques are very slow. Now see the randomized algorithms. A randomized algorithm is defined as an algorithm that is allowed to access a source of independent, unbiased random bits. and it is then allowed to use these random bits to influence its computation. So in the case of randomized algorithms, it is defined as an algorithm. A randomized algorithm is an algorithm that is allowed to access a source of independent, unbiased random bits. So it is using the unbiased random bits. Randomized algorithm uses the random numbers in its logic. Okay. Okay, already discussed about backtracking algorithm, sixth one. Now seventh one, randomized algorithm. A randomized algorithm uses a random number at least once during the computation to make a decision, to take a decision during the computation. A randomized algorithm uses. So what are the examples related to randomized algorithm? In Quicksort, using a random number to choose a pivot. In the Quicksort, we are using the random number to choose a pivot. This pivot is a very important one, which divides the given Quicksort into the two parts. Okay, that is why Quicksort using a random number to choose a pivot. Next example 2, trying to factor a large number by choosing a random number as possible divisors. So these are the two examples for the randomized algorithms. Okay, that's all. Dear students, thank you very much for attending the class. Okay, today's class is completed. If you have any doubts, dear students, if you have any doubts, please do the message in chat box.